Have you ever actually read Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard? It's only 20 pages long, 4 chapters. Chapter 1, Law and its Operation. The world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. So your conditioned consciousness, your habitual thinking made real. Consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the entire world. So it is to consciousness that we must turn if we would discover the secret of creation. So we have to turn to what we're always thinking, our consciousness, what we're at. Knowledge of the law of consciousness and the method of operating this law will enable you to accomplish all you desire in life. Armed with a working knowledge of this law, you can build and maintain an ideal world. You can build your world and maintain it with knowledge of this law. Consciousness is the one and only reality, not figuratively, but actually. This reality may, for the sake of clarity, be likened onto a stream that is divided into 2 parts. The conscious and the subconscious. In order to intelligently operate the law of consciousness, it is necessary to understand the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious. So the conscious, that's when we're awake, what we're generally in is the conscious. The conscious is personal, selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. The conscious is the realm of effect. The subconscious is the realm of cause. So what you're thinking, your subconscious is the cause of the effect out there of your conscious. These 2 aspects are the male and female divisions of consciousness. The conscious is male, the subconscious is female. So the conscious out there is male, and what's inside our head, inside us, the subconscious is female. The conscious generates ideas and impresses the ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives form and expressions to them. So whatever you're thinking about, especially habitually, right, you're conditioned, that goes into your subconscious. And your subconscious receives the idea and gives form and expression to them out there in your consciousness. By this law, first conceiving an idea and then impressing the idea conceived on the subconscious, all things evolve out of consciousness. And without this sequence, there is not anything made that is made. The conscious impresses the subconscious, while the subconscious expresses all that is impressed upon it. All that is impressed upon it. So whatever you impress into your subconscious, all of these things, we're always trying to get into our subconscious. When you listen to something before bed, when you say your affirmations, your habitual thinking, you're always trying to get into your subconscious, because your subconscious expresses whatever is impressed upon it. The subconscious does not originate ideas, but accepts as true those which the conscious mind feels to be true. Feels to be true. And in a way known only to itself, objectifies the accepted ideas. So let's think about that. The subconscious doesn't come up with its own ideas, but accepts as true those which the conscious mind feels to be true. So you can lie to yourself all the time. You can completely lie to yourself, and your subconscious mind will accept it as true, especially if you feel it. If you grew up with parents that were constantly telling you how dumb you are and worthless you are, that is impressed upon your subconscious mind, even though probably is not true in any way, shape, or form. But if you believe it and feel it to be true, especially if it has been repeated to you over and over again, then it will be objectified and you will accept it. Therefore, through his power to imagine and feel and his freedom to choose the ideas he will entertain, man has control over creation. Control of the subconscious is accomplished through control of your ideas and feelings. That's so important. Again, he talks about it as a male form, but through his power to imagine and feel and his freedom to choose, I have a whole other video on the word choose. You choose the ideas that you will entertain. You have control over creation. Control of the subconscious is accomplished through control of your ideas and control of your feelings. So control all the ideas that are going into that subconscious and control your feelings. Be aware of your feelings and control them. The mechanism for creation is hidden in the very depth of the subconscious, the female aspect or womb of creation. The subconscious transcends reason and is independent of induction. It contemplates a feeling as fact existing within itself, and on this assumption proceeds to give expression to it. The creative process begins with an idea, and its cycle runs its course as a feeling and ends in a volition to act, which is like a choice or an option to act. So some parts of that paragraph are very important, mind-boggling. So it contemplates the feeling as a fact. So again, whatever you feel, your mind considers to be, your subconscious considers to be fact. It transcends reason. Doesn't matter if it's reasonable, if it's true, it transcends that. The feeling, your subconscious, is fact. Ideas are impressed upon the subconscious through the medium of feeling. That's what this whole thing is about. Through feeling, ideas are impressed upon your subconscious. No idea can be impressed upon the subconscious until it is felt. But once felt, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it must be expressed. Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious. You find he repeats himself over and over again just so that you can get it into your head. Feelings are the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious. So if you want wealth, why do you want wealth? What is the feeling that you want with wealth? Security, safety, freedom, those feelings. If you want love, why do you want love? Again, probably for security and safety, peace of mind. So that's the feelings. You have to feel that before you can have the wealth or the love. Therefore, the man who does not control his feelings may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states. You need to have control of what feelings you're putting into your brain, into your subconscious, because you don't want undesirable states. By control of feeling is not meant restraint or suppression of your feeling, but rather the disciplining of self to imagine and entertain only such feelings as contributes to your happiness. You have to be disciplined, you have to be aware, and only have those feelings that are going to contribute to your happiness. Generally, anger is not going to contribute to your happiness. Don't have those feelings. If you can, very short periods of time, switch it up to something else. Control of your feeling is all important to a full and happy life. Control, discipline, you're going to get a hold of those feelings. Never entertain an undesirable feeling, nor think sympathetically about wrong in any shape or form. It just says it right there. Don't think sympathetically about wrong in any shape or form. Do not dwell on the imperfection of yourself. That's easier said than done, but don't dwell on the imperfection of yourself or others. To do so is to impress the subconscious with these limitations. What you do not want done onto you, do not feel that it is done onto you or another. This is the whole law of a full and happy life. Everything else is commentary. Sorry, I have a very strange dog. But do not dwell on the imperfection of yourself or others. Nobody's perfect. We all have imperfections, but don't dwell on them. Every feeling makes a subconscious impression, and unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of the opposite nature, must be expressed. So every feeling has an impression. So you have a negative feeling, you have to counteract it with a more powerful feeling in the opposite nature. So if I think a negative thought, especially about another person, something judgy, I'm working on that, I try to then think of 3 positives so that it counteracts that feeling. The dominant of the 2 feelings is the one expressed. I am healthy is a stronger feeling than I will be healthy. To feel I will be is to confess I am not. I am is stronger than I am not. So don't say to yourself, I am not sick. I am not. Don't say that. Say, I am healthy. It is a stronger expression, and that will be the one that your subconscious deals with. What you feel you are always dominates what you feel you would like to be. Therefore, to be realized, the wish must be felt as a state that is, rather than a state that is not. So again, what you feel you are always dominates what you feel you would like to be. So that to me says you must think of things in the present tense. I am, rather than I am not the negative, but I am, not I'm going to be. I am organized, not I'm going to be organized. Sensation precedes manifestation and is the foundation upon which all manifestation rests. So you're going to feel sensation precedes manifestation. Feeling comes before manifestation. Be careful of your moods and feelings, for there is an unbroken connection between your feelings and your visible world. So your feelings cloud what you see negatively in the physical world. Your feelings, again, they can be rose-colored glasses and you could see good things in your world. But be careful of your moods and feelings, for there is an unbroken connection between your feelings and your visible world. Your body is an emotional filter and bears the unmistakable marks of your prevalent emotions. Your prevalent, meaning your strongest emotions, your body bears the marks of that. That can be used for good or bad. Use it for good. Emotional disturbances, especially suppressed emotions, are the cause of all disease. So suppressed anger or guilt or blame, all of those ones, that is the cause of all disease. Dis-ease. You're not at ease with yourself. To feel intensely about a wrong without voicing or expressing that feeling is the beginning of disease. Dis-ease in both body and environment. Do not entertain the feeling of regret or failure or frustration or detachment from your objective results in disease. That is something to think about. Do not entertain the feelings of regret or failure or frustration. Don't feel those things, especially suppressing them, because then disease will start. Think feelingly only of the state you desire to realize. Feeling the reality of the state sought and living and acting on that conviction is the way of all seeming miracles. I love that word, miracles. But think feelingly, really feel it. Only the state you desire to see in reality in your outer world. All changes of expression are brought about through a change of feeling. All things out there are brought about by your change of feeling. A change of feeling is a change of destiny. Wow. A change of feeling is a change of destiny. Remember that. Positively, a change for the positive. All creation occurs in the domain of the subconscious. What you must acquire then is a reflective control of the operation of the subconscious. That is control of your ideas and feelings. Control what goes into your brain, be aware of it. So many things influence what goes into our subconscious. Control that, be aware of it, be aware of your feelings. Chance or accident is not responsible for the things that happen to you, nor is predestined fate the author of your fortune or misfortune. Your subconscious impressions determine the conditions of your world. Again, he's repeating himself, but your subconscious is responsible for your world, is responsible for the conditions of your world. The subconscious is not selective. It doesn't know if it's true or not, what you're telling it. It is impersonal and no respecter of persons. The subconscious is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feelings. Again, the subconscious doesn't know if it's true what you're telling it. It just believes it. It always accepts as true that which you feel to be true. Feeling is the assent of the subconscious to the truth of that which is declared to be true. Remember, and if you tell a lie over and over again, your subconscious will just assume that it is the absolute truth. So be careful what you're telling yourself. If you're going to tell yourself a lie, make it in the positive. You're wonderful. You are enough. You are capable. You are powerful. Make sure you're putting all of that into your subconscious mind, and then you will start believing it, and you will start seeing it in your outer world. Because of this quality of the subconscious, there is nothing impossible to man. I love that statement. Nothing impossible to man or woman. Love it. Love the miracles. Whatever the mind of the man can conceive and feel as true, the subconscious can and must objectify. Again, whatever you can conceive and that you feel, you just know is true, the subconscious must objectify it, make it objects, make it real in your reality. Your feelings create the pattern for which your world is fashioned. And a change of feeling is a change of pattern. If you don't change, nothing will change. You've got to change yourself first. You've got to take some action. You've got to be aware of what you're putting in your mind there. The subconscious never fails to express that which has been impressed upon it. Never fails to express that which has been impressed upon it. So make sure you're telling it what you want to see. Don't get programmed by your parents, your teachers, your coworkers, your friends. Make sure you are programming yourself. The moment it receives an impression, it begins to work out the ways of its expression. It accepts the feeling impressed upon it, your feeling, as a fact, existing within itself, and immediately sets about to produce in the outer or objective world the exact likeness of that feeling. The subconscious never alters the accepted belief of man. It outpictures them to the last detail, whether or not they are beneficial. that whole paragraph. I'm going to repeat that whole paragraph again because it is so important. The subconscious never fails to express that which has been impressed upon it. Never fails to do that. The moment it receives an impression, a thought, it begins to work out ways of its expression in your outer world. It accepts the feeling impressed upon it, your feeling, as a fact existing within itself, doesn't matter if it's true or not, and immediately sets about to produce in the outer or objective world the exact likeness of that feeling. The subconscious never alters the accepted belief of man. So whatever you truly believe about yourself, about what you can accomplish in the world, it never alters that. You have to consciously alter that and consciously get your subconscious on board to accept your new reality, your new identity. It outpictures them to the last detail, whether or not they're beneficial. So you have to decide if they're beneficial before you accept it into your subconscious. To impress the subconscious with the desired state, you must assume the feeling that would be yours had you already received your wish. Okay, so whatever you want wealth, what's the feeling you're going to get when you're wealthy? You have to have that feeling now before the wealth will be attracted into your life. In defining your objective, you must be concerned only with the objective itself. The manner of expression or the difficulties involved are not to be considered by you. So it doesn't matter the how. The how doesn't matter. How difficult it's going to be, what are the action steps. The how are not to be considered by you. To think feelingly on any state impresses it on the subconscious. Again, he said that many, many times. Therefore, if you dwell on difficulties, barriers, or delay, the subconscious, by its very selective nature, accepts the feeling of difficulties and obstacles as your request and proceeds to produce them in the outer world. Wow. So if you dwell on difficulties, barriers, or delay, the subconscious, by its very non-selective nature, accepts the feelings of difficulties and obstacles as your request and proceeds to produce them in the outer world. It's like a genie. Your wish is my demand, and if you are focused on the difficulties, the barriers, and the delays, your subconscious will give you difficulties, barriers, and delays. That's not what you want. The subconscious is the womb of creation. It receives the idea onto itself through the feelings of man. It never changes the idea received, but always gives it form. Hence, the subconscious outpictures the idea in the image and likeness of the feeling received. To feel a state as hopeless or impossible is to impress the subconscious with the idea of failure. Again, Neville Goddard is repeating itself, that you have to feel it. It never changes what you actually want, so be specific. Be careful what you wish for, that sort of thing. Be specific about what you're wishing for. I wish to be wealthy, $1, $1 million, what is it? And feel it, feel it, feel it. Although the subconscious faithfully serves man, it must not be inferred that the relation is that of a servant to a master, as was anciently conceived. The ancient prophets called it the slave and servant of man. St. Paul personified it as woman and said, the woman should be subject to man in everything. The subconscious does serve man and faithfully gives form to his feelings. However, the subconscious has the distinct distaste for compulsion, so you can't force it, and responds to persuasion rather than command. Persuade it nicely, positively, repeatedly. You can't force a feeling on yourself. You can't force yourself to feel positive all the time. You have to just do it organically and authentically feel it. Consequently, it resembles the beloved wife more than the servant. So if this sort of language offends you, you have to remember at the time when it was written, and you have to just feel what he's trying to say and get past the language if the language offends you in any way. The husband is the head of the wife, that's in the Bible, may not be true of man and woman in their earthly relationship, but it is true of the conscious and the subconscious, or the male and female aspects of the consciousness. So the husband is the head of the wife means what they're saying here is the conscious is the head of the subconscious. Your consciousness is in charge of your subconscious. What you consciously say, repeat, program into your subconscious, the consciousness is in control. You have control over your consciousness. The mystery to which Paul referred when he wrote, "This is a great mystery. He that loveth his wife loveth himself, and they two shall be one flesh," is simply the mystery of consciousness. Consciousness is really one and undivided, but for creation's sake, it appears to be divided into two. So he's saying that consciousness and subconsciousness are really one, but for the sake of creation, it appears to be divided into two. The conscious, which is objective or male aspect, truly is the head and dominates the subjective or female aspect. Again, don't get your knickers in a knot over the wording of this. Just try to get at what he means by this. However, this leadership is not that of the tyrant, but of the lover. So by assuming the feeling that would be yours were you already in possession of your objective, the subconscious is moved to build the exact likeness of your assumption. Your desires are not subconsciously accepted until you assume the feeling of their reality. For only through feeling is an idea subconsciously accepted, and only through this subconscious acceptance is it ever expressed. So the conscious can't be a tyrant. It has to be kind and loving. And you have to feel like it was already yours, the feeling, and then it will be objectified in the world, in the exact likeness of your assumption. It is easier to ascribe your feeling to events in the world than to admit that conditions of the world reflect your feelings. Isn't that true? It is easier to ascribe your feelings to events in the world than to admit that the conditions of the world reflect your feelings. You like to think that the world causes your feelings, but Neville is saying that your feelings cause the world. However, it is eternally true that the outside mirrors the inside. As within, so without. A man cannot receive nothing unless it is given him from heaven, and the kingdom of heaven is within you. Nothing comes from without. All things come from within, from the subconscious. It is impossible for you to see other than the contents of your consciousness. Your world, in its every detail, is your consciousness objectified. Objective states bear witness of subconscious impressions. A change of impressions results in a change of expression. Again, he's repeating himself. He's saying things in a slightly different way, but just so you know, as within, so without. The subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true. And because creation is the result of subconscious impressions, you, by your feeling, determine creation. You, by what you feel, determines creation. You are already that which you want to be. And your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. So let's say that again. You are already that which you want to be. So who are you being right now? Do you really want that? You have to analyze yourself. Analyze your constant thoughts, your habitual thoughts. Analyze what you're saying to yourself. Analyze what your identity is. Because you are already that which you want to be. And your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. To seek on the outside for that which you don't feel you are is to seek in vain. For we never find that which we want. We find only that which we are. Again, the world is a mirror of who you truly are and what you truly are feeling. So you can't seek it from the outside. You have to feel it from the inside. For you never find that which you want. You find only that which you are. Trying to attract love, trying to manifest things into your life, you attract who you are. You attract the partner who matches vibrationally with yourself, with your subconscious thoughts. That's how your world is reflected. Your reality is reflected. In short, you express and have only that which you are conscious of being or possessing. To him that hath, it is given. Denying the evidence of the senses and appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way to the realization of your desire. So deny the evidence of your senses. Deny what you're seeing out there. Appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the only way to the realization of your desire. So don't worry about what the world is right now. Feel what you want, and it will come in your reality. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. Underline that, highlight that. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts and your feelings is your highest achievement. However, until perfect self-control is attained, and nobody's perfect, I would argue, but self-control is attained so that in spite of appearances, you feel all that you want to feel. Use sleep and prayer to aid you in realizing your desired states. These are the two gateways to the subconscious. Again, that's so important, that whole paragraph. So mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. That is the most you want in this world, is to achieve mastery over your thoughts and your feelings. However, until that is attained, you have to, in spite of appearances, in spite what you see in your reality, you feel all that you want to feel. And now he's foreshadowing his next chapters. Use sleep and prayer to aid you in realizing your desired states. These are the two gateways to the subconscious. So we get a little bit more practical, and the next chapter, chapter 2, is sleep. Then he goes on to prayer in chapter 3 and spirit-feeling in chapter 4. But that's probably long enough for one video. That is the first chapter of Feeling is the Secret. I appreciate you watching, reading along with me, interpreting with me. I love this, and I need to, again, impress it over and over and over again into my mind so that I can see the reality I want to see. I need to impress upon my subconscious mind what I want to see in my outer reality, and then it will become true for me. That is Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard, the the full first chapter. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you want to see more of this, like and subscribe, leave a comment. Have you actually read Feeling is the Secret? I've read that chapter a few times. I've got lots of highlights, lots of underlining, lots of writing in the margins because I need to impress upon my subconscious mind the reality I want to see. Positive thoughts, positive outcomes, love, feeling, joy, everything high on the vibration list. I vibrate it out and it comes back to me, attracted back to me, and I am manifesting my dream life with my dream dog. Thanks for watching. Is that comfortable? It doesn't look that comfortable. It looks a little uncomfortable. You're such a good